Hey guys, what's going on? It is Ash here coming at you today in Clash Royale. I am so unbelievably excited for today's video because I have one of my favorite players. You guys know every time I have him on the channel, I'm like, dude, I can't get enough of this guy's gameplay. And I have him on voice today, all the way from Montenegro, from the Serbian Forces clan. It is my man, Tauron. How you doing, man?
Hey Ash, what's up?
Dude.
It's super great to be here. I'm so excited, I can't describe that.
Dude, I am so excited to have you, man. We're going to be in store for some amazing gameplay, and I had to get you on. I had you on the channel, I don't know, just a couple weeks ago, but I had to get you back on because were you expecting, did you see this coming as the #1 Giant Skeleton player for years on end coming? Did you see a Giant Skeleton buff?
Man, I couldn't see it for miles. I wasn't expecting it.
Right?
When I saw the news and the Giant Skeleton buff, I just couldn't believe it. I thought that it was some kind of a 1st April joke or something, because it was very unexpected.
Absolutely. It's funny because you don't have to make any changes to your go-to signature deck here, but you know, a lot of people were probably expecting perhaps a Baby Dragon buff. Whether or not it deserves it, that's another debate.
Personally, I play Baby Dragon, but it really deserves a nerf because it has a very high win rate, and it was one of the cards which I expected to get a nerf in this balance. But the cards which got buffs and nerfs were absolutely unexpected, except Bandit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I agree with you, man. It was a very shocking balance changes. Baby Dragon's a weird card, right? Because it keeps a lot of the splash annoying meta in check. At the same time, it's just so dominant in so many decks, and you definitely use it to your advantage in your deck. So, have you played a lot in the last day or two? Like, have you got time to really feel out the new Giant Skeleton? And I think that the quote from Clash Royale from Supercell team was that this change should help him just get to the tower a little bit faster because of that quicker first attack rate. Have you noticed anything on him?
Well, a bit, to be honest, because personally, the Giant Skeleton has always been a viable card for me. It has never been a bad card, you know. It has never been a meta, but it was a good card, good, solid card. And now the buff which they did on Giant Skeleton, you won't notice it right away. It is not like, I don't know, Royal Giant, which got 60% bonus damage, or like what they did which was the last buff before this one. I mean, through the game, you will feel that he kind of gets easier through the swarmy troops. One of hard counters to my deck is Graveyard, and it is a bit easier to deal with Graveyard now when you play a Giant Skeleton, because he kind of he hits faster.
Yeah, and you can kind of hang a little bit longer till you get your next troop in line or your spell or whatever you need to help support that, right?
Yeah, definitely. He is a little bit more viable now.
Yeah, man, I was shocked when I saw the buff to Giant Skeleton, but I'm not. For me personally, it was my favorite buff because it's just such a fun card to watch. And I'm curious, what made you start playing Giant Skeleton, especially on a competitive level? Like, what made you start? You just like the card? I know a lot of my viewers like the card too and play the card.
Yeah, I scrolled down through your comments on your last video when we were
Dude, you have a lot of fans, man.
Yeah, and I saw a guy which said that I got a deck from your channel, and my deck is kind of a hybrid. I remember a guy which was coming on your channel back then when I was starting to play. Yes, that was him.
Yeah, it's a little bit different, but yeah.
At that time, I was playing Mega Knight. Mega Knight was super popular, and then I saw the deck that guy was playing, and I was like, hey, I could give it a shot. I mean, no one plays Giant Skeleton, right?
Yeah.
And then I started kind of maxing cards, and while I was playing, I noticed that a couple of cards that didn't have that synergy in the deck. So I replaced Log with the Zap, I replaced Tombstone with Tesla, and I replaced Bats with Goblin Gang, because at that time Giant Double Prince were meta, so I had to swap Bats for Goblin Gang in order to get an even matchup at that time.
And that's, you know what, I just want to stop you just for a second, Tauron, is like that's the one thing that I try to impress on my viewers every day, and I need to mention it more honestly, is that, you know, if I show a deck on the channel and it doesn't suit you, but you think a substitution could make sense, like I encourage all my viewers to, you know, some people always complain about, oh, be original and make your own decks, but I've always been one of those tweakers. Like I'm not original enough to just make up a great deck, right? And plus all the meta decks, I feel like they've kind of already been made to a certain extent. But I do love picking up a deck that's popular and then making it my own, adding some of my favorite cards, or just tweaking it to suit the meta how I'm most comfortable. So I applaud you for certainly doing that, and it's resulted in a ton of success. I'm sure KOJ from the non-meta Musketeer crew would be so honored to hear that. He was one of my favorite guests, my fan favorite guests as well.
Shout out to him.
Yeah, so
I mean that's the point when you find a deck that suits you, but a couple of cards you're not comfortable playing with, you can replace them with the cards which you're playing usually, and which can substitute the card that you're extracting from your deck.
Absolutely. So I have a bunch of questions on this deck. We're going to do all live matches, by the way, after this replay. I should have said that in the beginning. But I want to ask you just a very basic question to start out with here, and that is, and this match is so intense, I'm just kind of watching the TV Royale replay of you in the background here. But I wanted to ask you, okay, people picking, I've had you, this is the third time I've had you on the channel, first time on voice. So I gotta ask, like, people that you've seen pick up the deck, maybe they saw it on the channel, maybe they're just for your friends or your clanmates, what are some of the early kind of pitfalls that maybe this mediocre YouTube host did not go over in those videos because I didn't have you on voice? Is there something important that maybe I didn't mention or I didn't stress enough in your opinion?
Well, about the deck, I saw a lot of people commenting and they were admiring sort of deck because it is non-meta. I personally think that every deck that is non-meta and that gets some kind of success on the ladder or on the tournaments, it deserves a spotlight because it's non-meta. Someone actually built that deck and he knows how to play with it. So personally, a lot of people came to me and asked how I managed to build a deck and how I managed to actually play with it, because at the first sight when you see it, it looks like a very weird deck. And I won't lie to you, it is a bit tricky to play, but after a dozen of games, when you learn some interactions and synergy between cards, it gets very fun to play, and it is quite a solid deck.
Yeah, and we've seen Yeah, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, it is a deck which can counter anything and which is countered by anything.
I like that, I like that. So you just need to know matchups, it sounds like, right?
Yeah, I mean, when you get to play a match high on ladder, you know meta decks. You know that you're going to face Lava Clone, Royal Giant, Ram Rider, P.E.K.K.A Spam. So after a few cards, you will realize which deck your opponent is playing, and you will try to or outcycle them or detect their air counters to you, and you will just try to outcycle them and get that balloon to the tower or minor chip.
Yeah.
So you have those two options, because honestly, you will need a lot of effort to get that giant skeleton to the tower.
Yeah, absolutely. A little bit less now, but still a lot. So, hey, why don't you hop into a live match? And I have a million more questions for you, but I want to see you play live. I want to see those sick plays, man. Okay, we found a match here, and you were telling me the story of the end of last season. So could you just repeat that for my viewers, man? I thought it probably mimics a lot of the frustration and then the highs and the lows that go along with this game.
Yeah, you need to have a lot of nerve for ladder.
Yes.
4 or 5 days before the end of the season, I was at 6.5k. And I was like, okay, this is not bad. I could finish maybe top 20, top 30. And then, of course, I tilted. I tilted to 6.1. And I was so nervous. I was so frustrated that I said that I won't play ladder until the end of the season. I'm going to wait for the buff, and then I will try to do something. And then literally 3 or 4 hours before the end of the season, I started to push, and I got to 6.6. I ended 60th in the world.
Man.
So,
yeah, just so much respect for you for rocking.
It was a photo finish.
Yeah, for rocking.
Yeah, you never give up.
Yeah, yeah, and I mean, like, this is such a broad question, but what was your best tip? It sounds like you just put the game away when you were starting to tilt and you waited, like, you know, a day or a few hours before you picked it back up again. Is that about kind of your best advice for people when they're on tilt, especially with a frustrating ladder?
Yeah, the worst thing to do while you're tilting is to play on. You should take a break. I don't know, a few hours a day or two.
Yeah.
And then after you feel relaxed and comfortable to play, you just keep rocking.
Yeah, for sure. Well, listen, we're in like top 150 ladder. Granted, it's like day 2 of the season, but still. So I wanted you to concentrate on the matches and my viewers to take away like some good stuff from this live gameplay. So if you could just kind of give us your train of thought against this matchup in particular, what you're trying to do right now, feel free to do so.
Yeah, the meta during the beginning of the season is always wonderful. He has a P.E.K.K.A, Wizard, Electro Wizard, Mega Minion, Bandit, Battle Ram.
Oh yeah.
So this is some kind of bridge spam, and
with double
I
wizard.
will just try to defend. He's going to overcommit sooner or later, and I will try to use that to my advantage.
Nice shot there. Just so you're playing very reactively early on here. Yeah, I'm sure that this is a type of deck that looks right out of maybe like the, I don't know, 4,000 to 5,000 or so wheelhouse as far as trophies. A lot of wizard going around in that area. But okay,
yeah.
So you play the Giant Skeleton into the P.E.K.K.A there. Is that what you generally do? Like into a big tank like that, even if it's a P.E.K.K.A, that you'll use your Giant Skeleton?
Yeah, definitely, because Giant Skeleton will help Tower to kill that P.E.K.K.A, and his bomb is going to finish it off.
And another play you just made, there was Giant Skeleton in front of the Tesla to protect it. There's really nothing that's going to get by that combo, right?
Yeah, I mean, you have to make a big mistake. You have to overcommit a lot of elixir in order to kind of lose this cycle and lose a tower at the end. So you have to be just really careful. You have to follow the cycle, and that's it.
Okay. So here he comes down the right lane. Again, you have the Tesla ready in the
I'm
center
going to
there.
wait for the Tesla to connect on the P.E.K.K.A. P.E.K.K.A will kill the Giant Skeleton, and the Wizard will come straight to the bomb.
Perfect. And again here, you haven't really gone, besides some chip damage with the miner, you haven't been aggressive at all, just waiting for him again to overcommit. And it seems like he's actually, to his credit, being pretty patient, except for that P.E.K.K.A at the bridge. He's putting a lot of pressure here. Let's see what happens. And he's back to another Tesla.
And I'm back to another Giant Skeleton.
And another Giant Skeleton. So again, that stone wall of defense. Do you find Tauron?
So he used his Mega Minion, and now he has Electro Wizard, and he has a Wizard. I will try to snipe the Wizard with my Miner plus Zap, and then the balloon should finish the tower.
Wow. And it was all GG's, man. It's so easy. You always make it look so freaking easy, dude. So it was just because you saw that Mega Minion out of cycle and you're like, okay, I can do this. I can like assassinate that wizard with the miner. I can zap the E-Wiz, and this should work.
Yeah, Mega Minion is a very strong counter to the balloon. It costs 3 elixir and it has enormous damage. So when I see Mega Minion out of cycle for someone, I will try to push, to counter push, and take the tower. Okay. If they don't have any else counter for air in their hand.
Okay, well, search for another match, and while you do, I have so many questions, man. Let me ask the most obvious one. Okay, in that situation, for example, you know, even though he had Mega Minion out of cycle, you knew he had Wizard, you know he had E-Wiz. So I noticed this in a lot of the other live gameplay videos that you've done here on the channel, is that you're not afraid to attack, even if they have multiple counters in hand, because you have a variety of tools at your disposal. You can use Giant Skeleton to tank for the balloon, and then NATO. You can use a miner. So talk about how to get by. Like, it sounds like it's super matchup dependent, but against P.E.K.K.A decks, for example, I noticed that you go same lane into the P.E.K.K.A with the Giant Skeleton balloon sometimes, and just NATO. How often do you use the NATO to pull away defensive counters to your balloon on offense?
Yeah, I use it quite often.
Yeah.
sometimes I'm not quite a draw player. I will go for, all or nothing.
Yeah.
So when I attack with balloon, I tend to use tornado if they play a unit at the center of the map. I tend to use tornado to pull them on the other side. Like I will do that with Inferno Dragon. If he plays it in the middle, I will pull the dragon in the other lane. So the balloon will have access to the tower. Awesome. And they will have to commit more elixir to defend it.
Well, I hope we get to see that in this match, man. So it's lava miner, it looks like. So
yeah,
what is going to be your strat? Are you going to when he drops that lava hound? Are you always going to be, no matter the lava hound matchup, are you always going to be going the same lane with Giant Skeleton, provided elixir's the same?
And I will try to play Tesla high, and then the lava will lock on the Tesla, and he will have to place Inferno Dragon or something to back up his lava. And when he does it, I will tornado everything in the bomb.
Okay. So you played that Giant Skeleton there. Why did you play that Giant Skeleton?
Yeah, I will play Balloon now.
Okay.
Then he has to play his Inferno Tower. Balloon will go straight to the tower.
Yep.
Unless he fireballs it.
Okay, it looks like he's just gonna play that Inferno Drag. You have your zap in hand, I think, right? Yeah.
Yeah, but I won't play it.
Okay. Okay, that was.
I will play the tornado.
Nice, dude. That's so sick, man.
Now I can play Baby Dragon because he's used his fireball.
Yep. Dude, textbook. And against Lava Clone, I assume you're doing the same exact thing, right? Strategy-wise, basically.
Yeah.
On a matchup like this, what cards are you paying attention to the most? Is it Inferno Dragon and like guards, or is it everything? I mean,
well, mostly Inferno Dragon. Okay, but you know, he has Fireball, he has Inferno Dragon, he has Tombstone, so he has a lot of options. And I will tornado the miner on the main tower.
Nice. That's gonna help out. Beautiful, beautiful. So there's still 1,500 damage onto the opponent's tower, so it's definitely.
Yeah, now I will try. He'll play Inferno Dragon. I will go all or nothing.
Okay, okay. There it goes with the balloon. Tombstone, the zap at the last second. Oh, he zaps.
Nice.
Okay.
Well played by him.
Yeah, well played, but still, you get the death damage and you're able to defend because you had to worry so much about defending that balloon push. That's what I see often about Tauron guys when he goes on.
Yeah, he predicted this one very well.
Yeah. Good thing about Giant Skeleton, though, is you never have to worry too much about the counter push, especially with NATO, you know, depending. Like that. Here's setting up with another Tesla. Here comes.
Yeah, he will play miner, and he will fireball probably this.
Yep.
So this will be a tricky defense.
Yeah, I was gonna say he has another miner already. Ooh. Ooh.
I should be able to manage to finish this.
Okay, okay. Miner on the tower. Inferno Dragon.
That was a bit like wasted fireball.
Yeah, and you didn't... Man, you really have a lot of patience with your zaps.
Yeah, you need to wait.
Yeah.
Because if you use it too early, you're not going to accomplish anything.
Yeah, or if you... Sometimes you just have the perseverance to say, no, I'm not going to use it this push. I'm going to wait till next push.
So this is good game.
That's good game. Dude, you're so sick. I just love your decision making. So, all right, let me run through some matchups, some popular matchups here. So, in like really basic questions, and feel free to search for the next match too, GG's. Do you, against a golem deck, do you use the same strategy where you're going to go same lane? When they drop the golem, are you going to go same lane with Giant Skeleton?
Yeah, definitely. You must go same lane. If you don't go same lane, you almost automatically lose the matchup.
Here's just a general question about the deck. Are you pretty much always, every single matchup, going same lane in terms of focusing on the same lane that your opponent is on offense as they are in defense?
Yeah, mainly. Okay.
Yeah, because I can't think of any... I'm trying to think of any situation where that might be different, but I really can't think of it just because of the power of the Giant Skeleton. So that's kind of easy. In a way, one of the easier elements about this deck, I guess, is that you know what lane you're going to be going in every match, the same one basically, and that actually gives you probably the patience to start out a little bit more passively because you want to see where your opponent's going to focus the majority of their offensive, forces towards,
Definitely. If they play P.E.K.K.A, Giant, Royal Giant, Golem, anything in the lane, you go the same lane where they do. And I would, personally, I don't like to play first card with this deck. And you never, really never, you want to play Giant Skeleton first behind the tower or whatever. So you will play the Miner, you will play the Tesla or whatever, but you never play Giant Skeleton first.
Okay.
Because if they have X-Bow, Royal Giant, or anything like that, you lose automatically.
So this guy Tempest here, he knows exactly what you're playing. I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Because he's like a higher ladder player. So, and he's playing Hog Princess Rocket probably. So it'll be an interesting matchup for sure. Is there any matchup that you go against that you're like, oh crap, like this is going to be really, really tough? Or do you have confidence at this point against pretty much everything?
Icebow. Icebow is one of my greatest characters, yes.
Yeah, because they have the Rocket and the Ice Whiz and the NATO. Yeah, I can see that. All right. So this guy, yeah, he's playing the classic Hog Princess Rocket deck. So what's going to be your strategy in this matchup?
Yeah, I will try to pull the Hog Hog to the main tower, and then I will just defend and wait for the right time to, when his princes and his bats are out of cycle, I will try to punish him with the balloon.
Okay. Send to that Miner there. He's being pretty aggressive here. He's got the mini P.E.K.K.A for the Miner, trying to get that princess.
He knows what he's doing.
He does. Okay. So against any kind of a hog deck, Tauron, no matter the hog deck, are you basically going to be trying to activate King Tower and then rely on Tesla? Or how do you decide between Tesla and NATO?
I mean, when you play against hog decks, you will have, no matter what...
one of the two.
I've played, yeah. If he plays 2.6 cycle, you will have eventually either Tornado or Tesla in your hand.
Okay.
So we'll try to predict Princess now. Yeah, he places there. We'll see if he has Rocket. I think he has. Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna be tough, man.
Yeah, we'll wait for Hog now.
So you play the Giant Skeleton in the back. He's going to pressure with a solo Hog. You have Tesla in hand. That's going to be fine. He's just wants to get that Tesla out of cycle. You can see the activated King Tower really helping you out. And you went right lane with that baby Drat. Okay. And you can see it's kind of like he didn't get to the tower that time.
If he tries to punish me and to rocket me out, I'm sure that I will be able to punish him.
Yeah. Okay. So, and I've noticed that all of our matches so far have gone into overtime. This deck seems like a deck that goes into overtime a lot because it's so defensively oriented. And here we go with the Hog. Tesla set up again. And good defense.
It will be hard to break through. He will eventually try to
rocket cycle.
Put as many as princesses at the bridge, so he could be able to rocket me out.
Okay. So are you just waiting? Once he does rocket offensively, providing he does, is that when you're gonna just like unleash aggressive Giant Skeleton Balloon at bridge, knowing he doesn't have rocket in hand?
Because he won't have any counters.
Yeah. And I noticed that you do that towards the end of matches or after any overcommitment in our other videos. I've noticed that you're a big fan of just rocket, Giant Skeleton, big Giant Skeleton pushes with Balloon. So he goes in with mini P.E.K.K.A again here. That was a pretty lucrative push on his end.
Yeah, now he got some damage with Hog Rider. He could now start trying to rocket me out.
And for that reason, you're starting to play kind of a little bit more aggressive Giant Skeletons here, trying to prevent him from being able to rocket.
That was Tesla last minute, last second.
Oh yeah.
And a little bit unfortunate that the princess got the hit on the tower, so yeah, he will get this one.
Yeah, it's gonna be rocket log out, but so I mean, besides having me yap at you the whole time, Do you think, okay, so now at this point, obviously, it's kind of like your last hope, but you're going to get him to try to use rockets against a balloon every time or something, right?
Yeah.
As like a
I will
Hail Mary.
just try to stall that as long as I can.
Exactly. So meanwhile, he's just cycling to another rocket or another Hog Rider, and you're going to go in again here. I've seen you pull off crazier miracles than this, but yeah, I'd say that it's pretty much over. Oh, it was even within the rocket range. My bad. All right.
That's log of light.
So GG's.
Yeah, Tempest is a good player.
Yeah, he's a really good player. All right, let's go to the next one, man. All right, well, here we go into, this is going to be the last match, but I have to ask you a hard-hitting question, Tauron, because, you know, I've been pretty easy on you, dude. Favorite emote?
Favorite emote?
Yes, what's your favorite emote?
Yeah, I think that would be a Burning Goblin.
Burning Goblin. That's one of my fewer favorites, I think. What do you think of the Inferno Tower?
I placed Miner. He was going to tornado it to the main tower, but
it's okay. Just trying to
he's playing
distract
Hog,
you.
Executioner, Valkyrie.
Yeah, look at this Happy Noob deck. So that was unfortunate. A lot of damage there to that Valkyrie, but now at least you know exactly what he's playing. What he runs Rocket 2, right?
Yeah, he does.
Crap. So now at least you have a chance to beat to get revenge against the Hog deck, and you can see right here, Giant Skeleton. That was a little bit noticeable, right? Like the little bit faster the hit rate on those goblins.
Yeah, he cleans them up faster.
Yeah. So here we go, getting that rocket out, but he misses the baby dragon,
He's
and the miner's tanking.
The tornado.
The baby, okay. Wow, he was scrambling there though, and you're still gonna get a decent amount of damage with that miner and the baby dragon.
Yeah, I zapped the tower, so the tower
dude, I missed that.
Directed to the miner, so baby dragon could chip away as much as damage as possible. So this match is going to rely mainly on chipping away his tower, because I won't be really able to get the balloon to the tower.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Dude, what's up with the no Giant Skeleton emotes, though? I mean, you must be pretty upset about that, right?
Yeah, I'm hoping that they will come out eventually.
Yeah, I mean, you're
I will be the
gonna...
first one to buy them.
Yeah, I was gonna say, you're definitely gonna get your gems ready on that, right? I mean, all right. They could be like, they're $3,000, and you'd be like, okay, done.
Yeah, no problem.
Good deal, I got it. All right, so here we go. It's gonna be another miner chip damage. Now, when you send in your miner, are you waiting to make sure he doesn't have the, you know, like, is there anything that you're looking for when you send in the miner for chip damage, just to make sure you have enough elixir to defend?
I noticed that he played goblins, so I played my miner knowing that he hasn't.
Okay.
He doesn't have a counter to I will zap, try to redirect the executioner,
dude,
and get that damage.
Dude.
Nice.
Oh my god, that is sick. I love a couple of the videos. Wow, very well played, Tauron. A couple of the videos you've done, like really sick lane plays like that. I think on your last one, with like the 300 IQ or whatever thumbnail, you made some incredible plays where you would just like you'd have like a giant skeleton balloon going down, and then you'd like use a last second NATO and then a zap last second to retarget. Like all those sick plays that you pull off on a consistent basis. It's not just like once every 10 matches. It feels like it's once every like 3 matches. Is it just, does that just come from playing the deck more? Like any parting thoughts on just as people are starting to play this deck more, as they want to become an expert with this deck like you are, like anything that you should be focusing on, especially in those like those really sticky
honestly,
lane?
I'm free to play, so I've been playing this deck for too long, I'm afraid, for 2.5 years, maybe almost 3. Dude. And despite that fact, I'm still learning interactions and stuff like that. So.
Do you think that you're the world's highest ladder player who's free to play?
Well, I don't know. I can say that I'm one of the highest players in the world that's using Giant Skeleton, but I don't have the facts,
like you don't have the financial statements behind you. Yeah, really, they don't give you those. Nah, but that's really cool, man. I can't think of anybody who's free to play who's finished higher than you have, especially being a special. It was such an amazing off meta deck. So, dude, thanks again for coming on the channel. Any shout outs, anything like that? I know you created a Twitter account the last time I had you on the channel, which is awesome. Any other things that people should know about before we let you go, man?
Yeah, no, just a big shout out to my mother clan, Global Empire, and to Serbian Forces, the clan in which I'm currently. And a big shout out to my mate Karslan. That's one of my best friends in the game. And
Okay.
we are about to meet each other in a few days, actually. So
oh, no way! That's so cool. And you met through CR?
Yes, I've met so many people through the game. It's just unbelievable. And they're my good friends, actually.
That is so cool, man. That's like one of the best things about this game, and I have the same experience as you do. So, dude, Tauron, thank you so much for coming on the channel. Sorry for saying Serbian Forces. That's your current clan, but Global Empire as well. I meant to shout them out in the beginning as well. But thank you so much for coming on the channel. You can check out his stats and player profile. Thanks to Stats Royale in the description below. Thanks, dude.
Thanks, Ash. It was great to be here again on your channel for the third time.
No problem, guys. Go follow him on Twitter. Give him a little Twitter following there. He's a super nice guy, obviously. Maybe he can help answer your questions if you tweet him, if you have any specific ones that we didn't cover today on the deck. And, of course, a huge shout out to Bren Chong, my YouTube partner. Check out his information in the description below. Thank you for watching, guys. And, as always, take care, guys.